Are the dolls in your dollhouse begging for some warm beverages on these cold days? Well, today I show you how to make a mug of coffee and a mug of hot cocoa. So stay tuned and see how easy this project is. All right, ahead of time, I painted a couple of these little cups. These are some of the metal minis that I showed you in the metal mini video. And this time I just did a really quick, it's too cold to paint outside so to spray paint, so I didn't even prime them. I just used white ceramic coat, and then I actually covered it with some clear nail polish because I wanted something quick and easy, because normally when I film a video I film early in the week, and this week, this is Saturday and I'm going to put this video up tomorrow. So I'm running late because I've been procrastinating. In fact, the videos you've watched the last couple of weeks I made in September, so I wouldn't have to record over Christmas. And now I'm kind of trying to get back into the swing of things and get back to recording. So let's make some hot cocoa in this cup. This is a really simple project. This wasn't even what I was going to do today, but this one came to me this morning. I thought, oh, I'll do that instead of what I was thinking. I found this paint a year, 2, 3 years ago, I don't remember. It's Americana Cocoa, and it works pretty well. It's a good color. I like using craft paint. There's been a debate on one of the miniature groups I'm on online about whether craft paint is the right thing to use, and yeah, for some things it is. I like this because if I want to make hot cocoa, and this is something I've sold in the past and I hope to get more of them made soon and put up on my new Etsy shop. I want it to always be the same color. I don't want to have to mix paint each and every time I'm going to do something. So that's why I choose to do this. Now, we don't want to fill this cup all the way up. We want to do this in really thin layers. So we are going to just put just a drop. I mean literally a drop. And let it go in slow, and kind of do that till it levels out. And this one didn't go in completely flat, just using a toothpick to kind of fold. Now, kind of leveled it out. Now this has to sit, and it has to sit and dry. This has to be all the way dry before we put the next drop on. So this is going to take most of today because I'm going to put a drop in. And then I'll come back and show you, and we'll put another drop in. And then another drop. The first layer doesn't have to be perfectly level. And you'll find it will probably get a little depression in the top. We'll fill that up with the next layer. Now a little hint, if you're drying paint, if you're in a hurry to get a project done and you need to paint it, couple of hints. Number one, thin layers. I know it seems like, oh, I want to put on a really thick layer and then it'll be done. I'll be done in one coat. It doesn't work. You always end up messing up that way. So thin layers, and a drop of paint still pretty thick inside that cup. But I have my work light, and I'm going to put my work light right there, and I'm going to leave it on. There's some heat coming out of there. That will help it to dry. It's cold outside, it's cold in my house, so it would take a long time to dry without this light on. So I'm going to turn everything off except this light. I'll leave this light on, and I'm going to do some other things, and I will be back when this gets dry. Alright, so I started to film and realized that my camera was completely out of focus. So my paint is dry now, so let's put just another little drop of paint in there. I test it with a toothpick to make sure it was dry. Let's see if we can get this kind of leveled out. If it was warmer in the house, this would probably dry a little faster. It's like I said earlier, it's really cold in here today. So we'll let this layer dry, and then I'll probably put on probably one, maybe two more layers of paint about that thick. And when I get those all in and dry, I'll show you how we finish this off. Alright, this is dry now, and I filled it up pretty well. It's not completely to the rim, but I don't want it to be. It's got a slight indentation, but not too bad. I think it'll be fine. If you have more time, like not trying to do a video all in one day, you could let this dry overnight and go a few more layers. Now, one problem with using the craft paint is it's got a matte finish. It's there's no gloss to it. And we want hot chocolate or hot cocoa to look wet. So I have some Ceramicoat interior varnish in satin, and once again I'm just going to put a drop in, kind of move it around so it coats the whole top, and this goes on kind of a white, but it will turn clear. I'm going to kind of work it around with my toothpick here, there, and when that gets dry it will be clear, it will make the top shiny, and then we can add some whipped cream. Yum! Alright, well you can see that the varnish dried clear. If I had more time I would have done another layer of paint, but in the interest of time we'll skip that. So now we need whipped cream, because what's a cup of cocoa without some whipped cream on it? So for that I'm just using a Scribbles 3D paint in Winter White. Just put a little like that, and it will dry, and it'll slough down a little bit. I'll probably add a little more to it in a little bit, but that's all there is to making a cup of hot cocoa. Alright, let's make a cup of coffee, and for this we just need some brown glass stain, any brand, doesn't matter. I bought this one to do another project with, and then I used it in my review. Again, we need to just put in a few drops, and you don't want very many. You can fill up about halfway and then let this dry, and you will find that as it dries it's going to shrink and it's going to get a dip in the middle. We will fill that in as we go. So this one just needs to, just like our hot chocolate or hot cocoa, this needs to dry, and when it's dry we'll add some more and I'll show you how it looks. Well, and here's our cup of coffee. It's got a little bit of a divot, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. Just a tiny drop in the center, and let that kind of, kind of level out, and we'll just keep adding that on. And you just keep adding up to it. If you want to make tea, you could go with more of an amber color. Again, build up in really thin layers. I've noticed that this brand of glass paint, let's see if I can back up a little bit. This brand of glass paint tends to be more clear than the gallery glass, and it also seems to dry a little faster. So whatever brand you use, just build it up slowly and have fun with it. Well, there you have it. We have hot cocoa and we have coffee. And tea, like I said, tea would be easy enough to do, or any beverage. It just depends on what you want to do. Just vary the color. If it's a more opaque beverage, then I usually use paint. If it's a more clear beverage, like a coffee or a tea, I use glass paint. But it's just a simple way to build up the color and fill the cup up. So be sure and check out the blog. I'll give a few more details and an interesting little story about a mistake I made a few years ago. And if you haven't found us on Facebook, be sure and do that, and look for the link in the description and the link on my blog for my Etsy shop. See if I can say Etsy. Not good at that one yet. If there's more videos you want to see, be sure and request what you want to see. Or if there's something you'd like me to add to my shop, be sure and request that too. I'll talk to you later. Bye.